Danny Quah studied in the United States. In fact, he worked at Princeton, and then I think he did some more work in the US before coming to the LSE many years ago. I think over 20 years ago. And he joined the economics department here. He got to know obviously a number of economists. And little by little, I think over the last few years, Danny has been increasingly interested about the interface between international economics, political economy, Asian economics, the rise of China economically, and international relations. So I'm not an economist, but I got to know Danny talking to him increasingly about his interest coming out of economics and political economy and the rise of Asia economically. We came from different angles, but we arrived at being interested in very similar questions about whether the world is changing economically, how is it changing, and what does that mean?
The only way you could get to know people around the school was there was a physical copy of a book called LSE Experts, and it was alphabetical and it went through all the academic faculty, and we just used to go through it and look at the bios. And Danny's picture stood out because he looked probably about 15 and he had small round glasses and sticky up hair that looked like all spiky. And he was talked very much at the time as a sort of rising star in economics. So I knew about him and I knew about what he looked like before I actually met him. Danny has been an intrinsic part of the summer school, and what's grown out of the summer school is the executive summer school, which we've been running for 9 years. And of those, this is its 9th year. Danny was academic director right up until last year and played a key role in the development of the programme, and it's always a pleasure to work with Danny on a project and on a programme like this, in terms of his professionalism and the real care he takes with the participants and the rapport that he has. He is very at ease in talking to people.
Danny was teaching both macroeconomics and econometrics, and obviously one of the star teachers on the course, and I got to know quite well. He was very helpful not only in teaching the students but also in discussions and how should we develop the program and so on. It's a really very serious and I think high-profile academic. I mean, like, his lectures were actually recorded by the BBC and broadcast on Radio 4. He was certainly a high-profile person amongst my group of teachers at that stage. And actually he's been continuing to do that until very recently. Unfortunately, he's now leaving, so the students will have to do without him. But he has been a great figure in that program.
Danny knows me as a Cherry, and I know him back to 5 years ago when we first time taught together at LSE Summer School. I was introduced by a colleague of mine, Michael Cox, and he told me, Danny Quah, Professor Danny Quah, is the most dangerous man at LSE because he has black belt certificate for Taekwondo, firstly, and secondly, he's an economist. Then after I met him, and this is something contradictory from the description I've received from Michael Cox. Apparently, Danny is an extremely nice and sweet person, and he can explain the really complicated concepts of economics and turn into jokes, films, tweets, and fantastic. I mean, he's probably the best person. If anyone who's scared about math and economics, if they want to learn something about it, and I think Danny is really the best to go for a person for that.
Is this ability to communicate quite complicated ideas in language that ordinary people can understand. I think also I've learned from Danny, although I've not always practiced it, he's very good at using social media. If you go to his blog page, I mean, it's brilliantly done, and I don't. So the one thing I haven't yet learned from Danny is how to use properly social media. So people keep telling me he's got thousands and thousands of followers around the world. So this is another area where Danny and I have been very competitive. So far he's winning very, very easily.
But I think also he's a very sort of entrepreneurial figure, and I came across that most when, for a few years, in fact until very recently, he was the academic director of our executive summer school program. And at that point, and still, I was chairman of the summer school board, so I was very much involved with his work on that. And again, the executive students on the summer school program were very captivated by him. He gave them little talks at the beginning and the end, and it really showed up his ability to communicate very effectively.
He's extremely kind, and he guided me throughout this whole process because it was something new, you know, setting something up that had no structures. We didn't have a website, we didn't have anything, but you know, I had him, which was the greatest thing I could have because he trusted me, and I have to say that was the most important thing. I wouldn't have been able to do my job. Getting to know what he wanted, you know, what he wanted from the center, what his vision was, but he also took, you know, he wanted to hear what I had to say as well, which was always so refreshing, and it challenges you.
My favourite thing about Danny that I've learned while getting to know him properly is that no matter how impressive he is on paper, and no matter how much he goes out for lunch one day with leaders of countries and ambassadors and presidents, and then he goes out for lunch with me and treats my opinions with as much respect as the leaders of those countries, and I think that's something I want to take forward. It's quite impressive.
It was a really important experience for me that my first full-time job after I graduated was with Danny, was with someone with his, you know, personality and style of leadership. Like someone like that to head my job, to give you the space to develop as a person and as an employee as well. And just working alongside Danny and Zoe has been just an amazing experience, really, really good.
He'll be very, you know, soft-spoken, but he's extremely funny, so when we catch the train sometimes together and we just happen to be on the same carriage, which is pretty awesome. Like I'll walk into the carriage and I'll see Danny and he's on his iPad and I'll be like, yay, Danny time, you know. I'll be like, good morning, Danny, and then I know that I've interrupted him from probably a very important article, but then I get to talk to him about Game of Thrones for the entire time until we get to work, which is awesome.
I wanted to join with you today, even though it's from far away, and to send my greetings and to say how wonderful it's been to work with you at the LSE and how wonderful it will be to work with you in the future, although it is going to be a tri-continental cooperation from now on, I guess, in most cases. So it was great to be together with you in building up LSE ideas. I particularly enjoyed working with you in Beijing. It was great fun to be there, particularly fun to be there with you. I must say that I always think of you, Danny, as a thinking man's economist, as an economist who is soundly grounded in the methods and the approaches of your discipline, but who is also able to think about the big questions, the big issues of concern to many that really matter in the broader sense of things.
Danny, it is very sad to see you leave LSE, because at the end of the day, I have no one to talk to in terms of asking any particular economic questions anymore. No one be able to stimulate me intellectually on that economic front. But on the other hand, you have proved really the power has been shifting from the west to the east. So you joined the National University of Singapore is a sign of how much this country's higher education system has been declining, whereas the east is rising. Anyway, all the best for the future.
Danny, it has been an incredible privilege to work with you at LSE at the Southeast Asia Centre. I'm sure you know that the LSE is losing a really big part of its, you know, identity when you leave. But personally, I want to say that I've really enjoyed our lunch conversations, really just talking about different geeky stuff that we really enjoy, and I hope that we'll have the chance to do that in Singapore or Malaysia, and you'll get to show me and Jenny what real Hainanese chicken tastes like.
Danny, I know that this year is going to bring new adventures for both of us, and we're about to take new steps, and I just wanted to let you know that I know without you and Zoe and the centre, this step wouldn't be possible for me. and I'm really grateful. Thank you and good luck with what you do next.
Danny, I just wanted to wish you the very best for this new and very exciting chapter in Singapore. You're going to be extremely missed here at LSE and by me personally, so this is quite a selfish message. It's me telling you that I will really miss you, and I really wanted to thank you for this incredible opportunity you've given me. I will be forever grateful for everything that you've taught me, for everything that you shared, and I really hope I get to speak to you frequently while you're away. And I will polish off my Singlish and put it to use at some point, I promise.
Well, Danny, you're going to Singapore. I wish you weren't going. And I hope that we keep in very close contact with you. You'll be sorely missed here at the LSE. Personally, I'm going to miss you very much indeed. So let's maintain the relationship we've built up here at the LSE over the last 10 years.
So congratulations. Celebrate the day today, for it should be a real day of celebration. We will be thinking about you often from over here as well. Hope to see you soon. All my best to all my friends at LSE. I miss you all.